Hello everybody, we just wrapped up a long first day. The Mondays of my week, which is actually a Thursday. I run from Thursdays to Mondays, but my Thursdays are very long days because you have to add a 4-hour commute to the beginning of it. So I got up about 4 o'clock, 4:30 this morning, and it's after midnight on Friday morning, and I'm finally in the sleeper and getting my 10 hours off. And there's me in my socks, my Wal-Mart hat, just chilling. So it was a busy day. I had 2 loads today. The first load went from Cleburne to a couple of stores in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And the first store, this was a dry groceries load. And on the first stop, it was a live unload, and on the second stop, it was a drop and hook. So the second store on dry groceries, a lot of times you can drop the rest of the load and pick up an empty and head back. So got back to Cleburne around 5 p.m. or so, grabbed another load, and that was a frozen dairy deli load. And that one had 3 stops on it. I got those 3 stops off, and I had a back haul at Americold Cold Warehouse. And I got over here and ran out of hours, and the load wasn't ready for me, which is really unusual. I dropped my empty trailer, and usually you can just pick up the loaded trailer. But tonight they were a little disorganized, and so I was out of hours anyway, so I bobtailed over to a spot here on the premises, and I'm spending my 10 hours. They said by morning my load will be ready, so it'll work out just fine. We'll take that load back to Cleburne. So all total today, between the mileage and the pay activities, my total today was about $340. And I think after the other live unload, which those are $12.50 each, so $10 for the arrival and $12.50 for the live unload. That's $22.50 for a location where you did a live load or unload, and $20 if you dropped and hooked. So that's how that works. So I think when it's all said and done, I'll have about $350 today, and so that's on track for about 90,000. I've actually been doing a little closer to 400. So my average daily pay, I think, is up to about 360 now. So after 3 months, that's not too bad. So a lot of guys are up in the mid 400s. That's pretty normal. And a couple of guys that I started with, it takes some time to get that average daily pay up. Some of those guys are up around 390, just under 400 after 3 months here. And I know one guy is at about 430, so he's doing really well. And he got here about a month before I did. So, yep, that was Thursday. It was a busy first day. I'm ready to get some sleep, and we'll start again tomorrow. So, just as a comparison, my last job in the oil field, which I was at for the last almost a year, we did 16-hour shifts, and usually by the time we got done with the last load and got back to the yard, we had about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, maybe 5 hours, and we were back up again and doing another 16 to 18-hour shift. So there wasn't a lot of sleep, and we would do that straight through with no 34-hour resets. There was nothing like that. So we do that every day, 16 to 20 hours a day, every day, for weeks or months at a time, until you can afford to take a week off. And then when you take a week off, you go backwards a little bit. So that's how that goes. So anyway, I hope this helps. Tomorrow is my Tuesday. Actually, everybody else is Friday. So since I'm running Thursday to Monday, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. And Friday is usually really cool because toward the end of the day, we're rolling into a weekend, and weekends get weekend miles, weekend mileage. So not only do I get the 61 cents, but if I work both the Saturday and Sunday, I get an additional 7 cents a mile. So on weekends, I get 68 cents a mile. So not too bad. And so a lot of times they'll try to give me some extra miles. And so Friday night, a lot of times they'll be sending me on a long distance run, and we don't do super long runs. This DC has some stores out in Abilene and Mineral Wells and in Lubbock, a little west of Lubbock. Every now and then you get one a little farther away, or they'll send you to work out of a different DC for a few days, and you go service their stores. So, but yep, I'm ready to get some sleep, and we'll see what's happening tomorrow. I'm going to pick this load up and go back to Cleburne with it. So we'll be back in Cleburne by mid-morning or so, and see what our next adventure is. So glad you're along on the journey, and we'll see you next time.